There is such a thing as a predatory mindset. There is such a thing. Some people just like to destroy. Some people just like to hurt others. And so there has to be a system in place to stop those people just ruining it for everyone else. I do understand that. But again, we want that system to be minimal. And the reason we want it to be minimal more than anything else is because the more powerful it gets, the more attractive it gets to those very people who are evil, who are criminal in just their nature and in their mentality, who are destructive, just in their, including self-destructive in their nature and their mentality. And then we end up in a situation like we're in now, where, you know, they're spraying poisons in the air that are just like, all right. So RFK Jr. So just very quickly, he is the guy who is the son of RFK, who was the Attorney General in the US when JFK was the president, and JFK is RFK Jr.'s uncle. So JFK, I think everyone's heard of him, US president, was assassinated, made a lot of enemies going against the institutional bureaucracies, the powers behind the powers. Various theories about who killed him and who killed RFK. At the time of recording this, of course, President Trump has apparently signed an executive order that says that those files are going to be released and declassified. So I guess if that actually happens, we're going to see who was involved in all that. But anyway, that's not really health related. So RFK Jr. was the son of RFK. His father was assassinated. His uncle was assassinated. He was environmental most of his life. He was beloved generally by the media. He cleaned up the Hudson River. He was one of the people who sued Monsanto. Generally beloved. And then around 20 years ago, he started looking, instead of the poisoning in the environment, he started looking at the poisoning internally, specifically in the case of jabs, but also, you know, what's in the food and stuff like that. And because he was challenging the pharmaceutical industry in general, but because he was challenging vaccines specifically, which is a very protected class that you're not allowed to criticize, he became hated by a lot of the mainstream media and slandered and all the rest of it. And then when COVID hit in 2020, he was on a list of people who were considered, was it the disinformation dozen? And basically he was like banned off pretty much all social media platforms. And so he decided a couple of years ago that he would run for president. Now, he said he wouldn't have done it if he felt he couldn't win, but one of the reasons he did it is because it was a way of getting around the censorship, because the US has these laws where you're not allowed to censor a presidential candidate. That's you know, one of the motivations. And I watched some of those early interviews he did with, you know, a bunch of different, usually political shows, I think, but some health shows as well. And I was, you know, very inspired. Honestly, before then, one of my friends had told me about him years ago, but I hadn't really looked into it. But I was, you know, very, very impressed with his message, even before he started to run for president.